I am tired, man. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. I've been at my best dress for a bit. I was doing some writing and thinking instead of improv talk show. Well, I have a 20 minutes on hard drive improv talk, and I did pretty well. I was at the tacky press. Me? Now I'm about to close around the winded. Elsbertha, her, the queen, Skull and Roses, turn into a fan. Kind of like an air conditioning, a fan. It's exhaust. It's indoor to out. Pointed outside. It says, in with thee and out. Huh? What was he thinking of? Oh, they like me as the figurehead for 35 Bank Street, huh? Capitol Theatre, New London's. Garcia's presidential extension, 35 Bank Street. Garcia's presidential extension. Where bands like Monet Weir play for people similar to Chelsea Clinton. Yeah, the Garcia's presidential extension of the Capitol Theatre, 35 Bank Street, a 1928 Mickey Mouse house. Mickey Mouse Movie Palace that also showed the news. Oh, from 1928 through To Further's Face. President watched that at the news place, or it was shown maybe downtown. 43 Mickey Mouse from a 28. 10 good solid years at Mickey Mouse Movie Palace with the news for the soldiers. And a president would visit every May, huh? That's neat. That's neat. We should see if Phil's kid Graham wants to, headline 35 Bank Street, New London City, Connecticut State. Yeah, it's about two hours or less from Capitol Theater, Portchester, New York. Garcia's Bar, East Coast, home of the Grateful Dead. That's a general admission extension for small crowd shows. You stand 3 to 5 feet away from the members for up to one to 4 hours or so. Usually run about 2 or just less. You're more likely to see between a 1 hour and 1/2 and 2 hours at a 5 foot distance from, says, Phil the Lesh. He scheduled 9 shows this October for Philoween. He was at Disneyland California Parks 1954. Had his picture taken with Jerry Garcia there. I know, but I mean, I've looked up to First Brent Midland thinking he was my dad because I was this big and in his arms. Nextly, it was Jerry for 5 years was trying to convince me to marry his daughter Keelan, but I thought girls may be stinky sometimes and wasn't sure why. Something like that. I don't know. Jokes, not lies. Like new. Sometimes. I'm sorry. Bob the Weir, his last name was Shepherd from Scotland. Like my grandfather, Gaelic Shepherd. Yeah, he's passed away, but Bob's still living. He's fourth cousin. Oh, Monet would be my fifth. My grandfather's first cousin, which make, um, I'd be his third cousin, and Monet is my fourth. So if I had a kid, he would be fifth cousin to Monet. Monet is my fourth cousin, so she'd be my kid's fifth cousin. I'm more related to Bob. My kid will be more related to Monet, probably, or something like that. As far as legality terms and political correct cousins go, normally they're only measured 1 through 4. And a fourth cousin is like, I don't even know you, sort of thing. Some people take family seriously. I had a spit about how the property here was founded in 1775 by Gunsmith Jones Carlson and his indigenous wife. But that's just two people 6 rungs back on my dad's side of the family. And you take that for father of Tool, and take it with this whole indigenous side, which was descendants of Uncas, or from the time of Uncas, history recorders, and blent in for peace. Flew a white flag peace sign same time. Not everyone was like that. Pequot had opposite in tribal beliefs and values. They wanted to go west, gather numbers, come back, and slaughter all newcomers. So the Mohegans would defend against the Pequot, slaughtering the newcomers like the Pilgrims or Columbus and Cortez, 1500s. Yep, and then they got into a pretty big spat where they put the best up against each other in a civil sort of style, 1600 and something, Mohegan-Pequot War, technical war. Um, Before that, there was way more people involved, and it wasn't considered a war between them. There was like nationals of should newcomers be allowed in Native America, or should we just murder them all and then go over there and kill the rest of those too, steal their land. I don't know. I'm overspoken. I pledge allegiance to the flag. Which one? Well, Pequot got sovereign nation privilege these days because their tribal relatives are endangered, and there's verbals passed on in through history and things. Probably an extremely same blood than the Mohegans, who's been neutral with us this little while, blent in with Christian, accepted USA values after Sons of Liberty sort of stuff, and to each their own with the Pilgrims and etc. Cortez and Columbus drops off slaves of to each their own, So, but Mohegans only have a reservation. The Pequot's got a sovereign nation approved by the Connecticut's. Me personally is a Connecticut Algonquin. So I guess maybe deport me to New York City again. I'm just kidding. I was voluntold last time. He goes over an NYPD exploring outfit from 2003 to 2008 out of a BSA nuclear patrol, nuclear troop. Stagnant nuclear power, growing up and learning about emergency response with Dominion power plant. And then there was Navy exploring things through Submarine Force Exploring, sponsored by both private school, which starts at the Children's Museum, and BSA Exploring, I guess, eventually, or something similar. I'm kind of losing myself in the train of thought. In other news, they've raised this prescription 10 times of milligram. I caught the EOPTSD from all that early 2000s stuff when I was 17 and late 2007. Turned into about a PTSD enough to be undecided PTSD in 2008. Untreated, and it was PTSD, but it went untreated and unknown until about August 2008, where they said it was a PTSD-induced overnight schizophrenia, terminal, lifelong, irreversible. Gave me a 25 years to life on a mandatory minimum medicine for outpatients so that it doesn't kill me. The symptoms of sudden death for that particular disorder will be inhibited. With extra possible negative side effect called near-death experiences and death-like symptoms that may include sudden death. Through prescription. I ate 4,008 milligram risperidone, it was a ballpark underestimate, in 10 years, and then 1,004.5 milligram chloriprazines over the next 3 years to wean me off of the tryptamine risperidone. Similar to 5-MeO-DMT, but it causes a wave of sobriety. And so what I'm currently on is actually day 3 of Caplyta, which is it's generally advertised as for schizophrenia, but my dosage is 45 milligrams every 24 hours for like the next 300 or 600 days. Hopefully it works. Yeah, with ordinary mental disorders such as probably a typical schizophrenia, you know what I mean? Overactive dreaming that can lead to possible daydreams. In my case, I have a terminal condition from PTSD, so it's complicated. And I quite often contest that it should be labeled schizophrenias, because I forget I have the PTSDs from nothing bad ever happened and nothing bad ever will, eh, Scout? Old explorer of Coast Guard, Navy, NYPD, BSA, WPD, NLPD, of the Medic 11s in the 5 different firehouses same time. Hello? You found dead bodies, saw firefights and explosions in your youth. You have PTSD and a side effect of it, which is called near lethal, lethal possible, terminal schizophrenia irreversible. He's just the patient. He doesn't know sometimes. Anyway, so I'm on this new medication. It's 50 milligrams every 24 hours for the rest of my life, or until it has complications with me. Caplyta. It's not a tryptamine like risperidone. I don't think it's anywhere close to diazepam, such as your cariprazine or Vraylar, also known as Verlers. Verlers. And then he inserts humors from Grateful Dead into Further's face. Or something similar, so... No, they weren't old enough to watch that. Phil, Ash, and Jerry got to Disneyland in '54. I think they were like 5 and 9 years old when they met together. California, before the Grateful Dead by 10 gold solid years, just about. Anyway, as I was saying, if you have an ordinary disorder like that, they suggest medication for up to 2 weeks and then break for 3 months to let the chemicals exit your system. Usually this medication, when taken fashion daily, is told to don't take it more than 2 weeks straight, because it compiles up in your system for 100 days or 3 months. That was the deal with risperidone. That was the deal with cariprazine. So for risperidone, I would take an 8 milligram every 24 hours, compile up for 100 days, to where at the end of the 3 months, I'd have 800 milligrams in my system. And that's where it stops compiling and starts just replacing what it just exited. You'll piss 8 milligrams every day, eat 8 milligrams every day, but what's in your system is 800 milligrams until you're weaned, until you stop eating them. And then 3 months later, it's all gone. So what they did with me was, don't eat your risperidone, eat Verler instead. And it was supposed to take me off tryptamine withdrawals. It's a tryptamine similar to 5-MeO-DMT that causes a wave of sobriety. Schedule 3, most likely. I don't know. I was voluntold. No, it's involuntary commitment through mandatory medicines, life-saving precaution that I blow out of proportion on occasion. Because the term schizophrenia doesn't describe my daydreams, it doesn't describe my sleep habits, it doesn't describe my night dreams. All this dream state stuff, and now mixed with tobacco, was a product of the Green Party's Coexist and National Native American Church. Cherokee Tribal, Mohegan Tribal, since 1996, it was considered Connecticut Algonquin. It's the Algonquin down to the Delaware. It may include some of the Lenapes. Yeah, just an East Coast pro-USA, SOL sympathetic, or something similar to that, with a Cherokee Apache values as well. No, it's 20% Algonquin, Connecticut, and 20% Cherokee Tribal these days of the Shadow of the Shenandoah, Indigenous Virginia. So when they say schizophrenia and this daydreams of all these dreams and overactive dreaming and night dreams and hallucinations and stuff, crock of bullshit and against my religious freedoms. Or against my people's heritage and etc. So, of sorts. So to say. But you look so white.